to...
What was the question?
Please answer, Mayor.
The very provision of paragraph 1 of the terms and condition is for the issuance of cashier's check or money's check.
Yan po nakasulat.
So there is no compliance with respect to the form of check that should be issued.
Hindi po ako...
Just say yes or no, Mr. Mayor.
Well, anyway, the mayor has already answered that
Okay.
they paid the consideration with the check of the city of Manila. And I suppose it's up to the buyer if to accept that check or to insist on a cashier's check or a manager's check.
My point is this,
So-
Your Honor.
Anyway, it's already answered. The mayor's already answered. Another question.
Now, you made mention that paragraph 2 thereof mentions of the simultaneous delivery or surrender of the owner's duplicate copy of the subject property number 76220. Do you have any proof to show that indeed there is compliance?
Eh, nakita ko po
As far as you know, Mr. Mayor.
nakita ko po yung titulo nung final stages.
But,
Already answered.
okay. Now, how about under paragraph 3, do you know if there was proper segregation of the two lots as you have described earlier on?
Yun may proseso po yun. That's exactly...
My question is, do you know of any compliance?
Of
Yun
what?
nga po.
Compliance of,
As to the segregation of the two lots embodied in the same title, Your Honor.
you mean
As
subdivision?
provided for, Your Honor. Yes, the subdivision, Your Honor.
Of
Yes.
the land covered by the title, by this single title.
Yes, Your Honor. Just to know if he knows, Your Honor, if there is compliance.
Mayor, just answer if you know or not.
Ang pagkakaalam ko, dapat ginawa na yun.
Would you be surprised to know that there is no compliance there? Anyway, I withdraw that, Your Honor. Ano na? Hindi, yung disallowance. Yung suspension.
Ayun, may bumaksak.
I'm sorry, may I ask for 1 minute suspension, Your Honor? I'm conferring with my...
Suspension.
Take advantage of the request of the prosecution for a minute suspension just to ask some clarificatory questions so that we do not have to delay this. Mr. Mayor, you would agree with me that as head of the local government unit, you are expected to exercise extraordinary diligence in the handling of public funds.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, and in this particular case, it involves over 34,705,890 pesos, and therefore, extraordinary diligence will be exercised. Now, you mentioned earlier, hindi ko na binusisi itong deed of absolute sale. Sinabi mo kanina,
Binasa ko po, pero hindi ko na po binusisi.
hindi mo na binusisi. Itong exhibit, itong deed of sale, hindi mo na rin binusisi yung secretary's affidavit na kung saan nakalagay yung alleged authority ni Mrs. Corona.
Yun po ay binusisi ng aming abogado.
Binusisi ng inyong abogado. Dahilan po sa hindi mo binusisi ang kontrata, hindi ka na rin humingi ng kopya ng board resolution na nakabanggit doon sa secretary certificate.
Hindi po galing sa akin. I was assuming that the city legal department attended to all of this.
Yeah, but you yourself did not ask.
Hindi na po.
Alright. Hindi mo rin tinanong o wala ka rin alam ng nagtanong kung ito bang ari-ariang ito ay ito po ba'y buong ari-arian ng BGI, if this is all or substantially all of the assets of BGI.
Eh, yun po, we assumed that because that was the registry, that was the result of the registry's answer to our query on the title.
So you
Nakalagay po.
assume that this property is the only property, or if not the substantially all of the property.
Hindi po naman. Marami po silang property sa Maynila.
I see. Okay. Now, ngunit hindi po kayo humingi ng stockholders resolution dito na nag-authorize ng pagbenta nitong ari-arian.
Gaya ng sinabi ko po, dumaan po yan sa masusing pagsusuri ng Department of City Legal Department. So, I presume that all of this were taken care of.
Kaya hindi mo na binusisi.
Hindi ko na po inusisa.
Okay. Ngayon, dahilan po sa dami mong tinitingnan na dokumento, hindi mo na rin chinek sa SEC kung itong korporasyon ito ay buhay pa.
At that point in time,
Tinatanong lang kita. Hindi
at
na
that point in
chinek.
time, hindi ko po, ako mismo personal, hindi ko po tinanong.
Tinanong mo ba yung mga abogado mo kung chinek nila sa SEC?
Ang sabi po ng aming abogado, sila po yung hinahanap naming may-ari.
Oh, hindi. Yung pagpunta sa SEC para tingnan kung buhay pa itong korporasyon ito, hindi po ginawa yan ng inyong mga abogado. Sa pagkaalam mo, hindi mo rin ginawa.
Alam ko po siguro ginawa nila, pero hindi ko alam
Hindi mo alam.
wala silang pagkontra, kaya tuloy po yung aming negosasyon.
Hindi mo ba, napansin mo naman siguro na yung Secretary's affidavit ni Asuncion Rocco ay may petsang June 19, 1987.
Opo.
Opo. At itong transaksyong ito ay taong 2001 na. Hindi po ba? Ang deed of sale.
Tama po.
14 na taong nakaraan, doon po sa Secretary Certificate na ang sinasabi, may kapangyarihan si Cristina Rocco na magbenta noong ari-ari nitong loteng ito.
Hindi ko na po binigyan din ng pansin yung petsa ng panahon dahil wala po namang limitasyon yung authority. Wala naman nakalagay doon. This is only good for 1 year.
Opo. At
2 years.
hindi po pumasok sa isipan nyo na baka po napalitan na yung korporasyon, ang board of directors, baka di-revoke yung authority, baka hindi na dahil sa iba na po yung korporasyon, ang board of directors, hindi na authorize si Ginang Rocco. Hindi niyo po ginawa yun?
Hindi pumasok sa isip ko na
Hindi pumasok sa isip mo.
kailangan questionin dahil wala po namang question.
Ngayon, Ngayon, ang vendor po dito, ang nagbenta, ay Basa Guidotti Enterprises, hindi po ba?
Opo.
At sa pagkaalam po ninyo, ang dapat bayaran yung nagbenta ng ari-arian.
Tama po yun.
Opo. At ngunit dito, ang cheque ay ibinigay kay Cristina Corona in trust for Basa Guidotti Enterprises.
Opo.
Bakit po ginawa yun ulit?
Siya po ang aming kanegosasyon at siya po ang dapat managot doon sa kahahantungan ng cheque.
Hindi po ba ang dapat managot ay ang korporasyon?
Yun nga po, korporasyon, but meron
Yung
po kami
korporasyon.
pinpointed. Yun po, para sa akin po, added security measure to make sure that the transaction ends up in the right place.
Added security sa isip nyo. Hindi nyo po naisip na itong checking ito na in trust for Basa Guidotti ay diniposito ni Mrs. Corona sa kanyang account.
Hindi ko po alam yun.
Hindi mo alam. Nakita nyo po ba yung cheque? Hindi ba hawak-hawak yung cheque kanina?
Yung cheque po na
Yung cheque na pinagbayad.
inisyo namin, yun
Opo.
po nakita ko.
Opo, pakitingnan mo nga ulit. Can the secretary please give a copy of the check? I think it was marked in evidence. Nandiyan na po, Ginoong Witness, ang cheque sa tabi niyo po. Oh. Yung likod po ba ng cheque ay nakikita dyan sa exhibit na yan?
Andito po.
Nandyan. Hindi po ba sa likod nakalagay for deposit to account number 001512-0029-74. At tapos may nakalaglag pirmang Cristina R. Corona. Tama po ba yan?
Hindi ko po nakikita yung sinasabi niyo.
Ganun po ba? Pakikita mo nga
Ito
naman
po,
sa liwanag.
for deposit.
Yes, for deposit. Ayan. Pakibasa nga po.
Account number 001512002974. Cristina R. Corona.
Oo. At dahilan po sa pag-iingat nyo, linagay nyo sa pangalan ni Cristina Corona in trust for Basa Guidotti Enterprises Inc. Ngunit ito po'y dahilan po dito, nagkaroon ng pagkakataon para i-deposito sa pangalan ni Cristina Corona.
Ganun po nangyari.
Ay, hindi po na-deposito doon po sa Basa Guidotti Enterprises Inc.
Hindi ko po alam yun.
Hindi, tinitingnan, binasa mo kayo na kung saan
Hindi ko po alam kung yan ang deposito nila, yan ang korporasyon, ang alam ko po siya ang authorized.
Opo, pero doon po dineposito sa account na ito at sa ilalim, mayroong Cristina R. Corona. Wala naman pong nakalagay dito ng Basa Guidotti Enterprises Inc. Tama po ba?
Hindi ko na po alam yun.
Ay, hindi, binasa mo kayo na.
Hindi ko na po alam kung ano nangyari puro sa deposito ng cheque na naka-assign puro sa korporasyon.
Okay.
At that point in time, I had no... Ngayon, alam ko na po, pero hindi ko alam dati.
At that time, hindi mo alam. Pero ngayon, alam mo na.
Yun po ang napapaloob.
Yeah. Ngayon, doon po sa deed of sale, ang nakalagay doon, kung titingnan niyo po yung deed of sale, ang nakalagay doon po sa paragraph 4, pakibigay lang sa testigo noong deed of sale. Mr. Witness.
Opo.
Opo. On page 3, paragraph 4. Opo. Dito po nakalagay, capital gains tax which shall be for the account of Basa Guidotti.
Opo.
Ibig sabihin, yung capital gains ang dapat ang magbayad ang Basa Guidotti.
Opo.
Yung 34,703,800 pesos, yan po kasama ang capital gains doon.
Sila po ang mananagot doon.
Dapat, opo, yan po nakalagay sa kontrata.
Yun po nakalagay.
Opo. At yan po ay alam mo po ba na hanggang ngayon ang titulo ay nasa Basa Guidotti Enterprises pa? Alam po niyo, hindi?
Hindi ko po alam.
Hindi mo po alam. Hindi mo pa alam na hanggang ngayon ay hindi pa po bayad ang capital gains tax.
Again, I have no way of...
You have no way of knowing. You have no way of knowing that up to now, the title is still in the name of Basa Guidotti, and the reason is the capital gains tax have not been paid. You would not know that.
I wouldn't know that.
Yeah. And also, the value-added tax, you wouldn't know that it has been paid. It has not been paid, I'm sorry. You wouldn't know that, Mr. Witness.
Hindi ko na po alam yun.
Now, Mr. Witness, you earlier cited the notice of suspension. Alam niyo po, sa notice of suspension, isa po sa mga pinoint out noong Commission on Audit, kulang po ang dokumento doon po sa bentahan. Specifically, yung sinasabi recommendation of the appraisal committee as to the reasonableness of the price was not submitted. Pwede ho bang
As every year, at the end of the year, the Commission on Audit, local, submits to the executive, the chief executive, a list of questioned transactions
Opo.
and notice of suspension are given, notices of suspension. And it is presumed by the local chief executive that the pointed out deficiencies are immediately complied with and responded to by the officers concerned. In this particular transaction, the notice of the mayor, the assessor, accountant, the treasurer, secretary, legal officer are called. And as a regular rule, as soon as the submitted documents are given in, the notice of suspension is lifted. Because otherwise, every year, the subject matters question, transactions listed for suspension, will appear every year. At kaya kami po ino-audit ng National COA at the end of each year. And all of this should normally appear. And if indeed not satisfied with the explanations of the executive and the legislative and the administration, they will make it mature to something else.
Notice of disallowance.
Disallowance. Pero hindi po nangyari yun eh. So, ang presumption ng lingkod ay nasagot na lahat yan because maraming dini-question, sinasagot po dapat yan at pinaliliwanag. Ang malamang na sinabi po ng tanggapan ko, yung lalo na po rin sa punto ng Commission o Committee on Appraisal, na ang aming appraisal for that particular transaction was very, very accurate, considering that we sold a property of the government for 155 million pesos and paid for by the LRTA, and here we are buying another parcel of land for 34 million for the same purpose of the other one sold.
Was that recommendation
The
in
gentleman
writing?
from Iloilo has 1 minute to finish.
Yes. Was that recommendation in writing?
Yes, I'm sure the recommendation was done in writing, because otherwise, this item would have appeared in 2003, 2004, it would have bothered me. And I would have instructed my people to give more attention to that particular item.
Well, because I have information that up to this point, there is no appraisal, there is no recommendation on the reasonableness of the price, for which reason the transaction, the finding may have ripened into a notice of dissolution. But in any case, yes, Mr. President, I will not stop at this point because I believe that through the answers of the witness, there was some degree of lack of due diligence and extraordinary diligence in handling funds for the people of Manila. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right.
If Your Honor, please.
Counsel for the
If
procedure.
Your Honor, please.
Yes.
May I have even only 1 minute, Your Honor?
You
Now,
have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Your Honor. In connection with the non-payment of the capital gain tax, Your Honor, we have in our possession a letter,
Your Honor, please.
BIR ruling, Your Honor, signed by Mr. Edmundo P. Guevara, Deputy Commissioner for Legal and Inspection Group, which consists of 2 pages, dated May 22, 2001, which states that no capital gain tax may be levied on the excess of just compensation.
I'm
paid
sorry,
by-
Your Honor.
I'll ask this be marked as Exhibit 2.
Because that is presenting evidence by manifestation, Your Honor, with due respect.
Yeah, but you may not be conversant with the rule. We cannot object to the
what is-
manifestation.
What is the basis of your objection?
Your Honor, with due respect to Justice Cuedas, he is volunteering this this information regarding the exemption without the benefit of proper question, Your Honor.
Yes, we will
Well,
we will do that.
There was a question from the court.
And I'm still on cross, Your Honor.
There was a question from the court, and the counsel for the
I
defense.
yield, Your Honor. I submit.
Yeah, and
Thank
isn't
you.
this also subject to doxy stamp
The
transaction?
the transaction, Your Honor. I think so, Your Honor. But we have not gone deeper into that aspect because to us, as we have previously earlier manifested, Your Honor, the transaction had been consummated, the properties had been delivered to the
That's
City
correct,
of Manila. They constructed already the public market there. If they are not interested anymore, we are willing to accept back the property, Your Honor.
That's correct. That's correct. Yeah,
And that
the
will-
transaction is finished.
Yes, Your Honor, it's already consummatum est.
It's just a question of relating this to the impeachment
Yes,
case before us.
yes, Your Honor.
So,
Thank you.
counsel, for the continue with your course.
Your Honor, may we just mark in evidence additionally as appearing in the dorsal portion of the subject check, marked Exhibit 238 for the defense and 11J for the prosecution. We have marked earlier the notation appearing at the back thereof, and as pointed out by Senator Drilon, the notation for deposit 2, account number so and so, signed by R. Corona. We would like to request that the stamp mark reading Land Bank Malacanang Branch, teller number 2, to be further marked in evidence for the prosecution as Exhibit J-3, Your Honor.
Mark it accordingly for the prosecution.
You were saying something when we mark our evidence by in pursuant to our manifestation, but that's not been testified to by the witness.
Any further question from the prosecution?
Yes, Your Honor. Much as we want to proceed, but as we have earlier manifested, because of the other documents presented through our good mayor, we have to examine them first, and we need time to study. So we will have to ask for continuance, Your Honor.
Of your course.
Of the cross, Your Honor.
What's the pleasure of the defense?
We submit to the discretion of the
All
Honorable
right.
Court, Your Honor.
Granted.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
The witness is discharged in the meantime, and we will notify him for regarding the next hearing of this case. Counsel for the defense, they have
If Your
any-
Honor, please, if it will not be asking too much, may we be informed what those documents are so that we can make them available. We can even have them Xerox copied and furnish them
Then,
with copies thereof.
The prosecution will state for the record
Yeah.
the documents that you want to
Yeah. We are willing to furnish them.
have and examine for
We have even observed that in the other documents, like the disbursement voucher, there are some entries therein which could not be read. And we were really taken by surprise with these documents. So we have to have time, Your Honor. And maybe confer with them, Your Honor.
No, I know. I hope you do not. I'm not misunderstood. We are not objecting to your request. We are very much willing to accede.
We will
but
confer.
in order to do some assistance to you, we were manifesting to the court that we are willing to have these documents Xerox copied, then furnish you with copies.
Thank you for that, Mr.
I
Justice.
do not think there is
Cuevas.
anything
All
wrong.
right.
Thank you, Justice.
you may confer with the defense to get the documents you want to examine.
Yes, Your Honor. We will do that later on, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All
Thank
right.
you very much, Your Honor.
Is there anyone who would want to ask questions from the witness? The gentle lady from Antique.